In today's video, I discuss how I nearly went bankrupt doing Amazon FBA and how you can avoid making the same mistakes. Cue the intro. Hi folks, welcome to the channel. For those of you new here, my name is Andrew. I'm a part-time eBay and Amazon reseller. And it's in today's video that I'd like to focus specifically on the Amazon aspect of my business. I started doing Amazon, I signed up and got my account sorted to Christmas last year. I sent my first shipment in January of this year, about 4 months ago, 5 months ago even, from today's date. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about how the experience has been and, well, basically the mistakes I've made along the way that effectively nearly financially ruined me at one stage, and left the business with owing more money than it had coming in at the time, in the hope that you can avoid making the same mistakes. So when I started Amazon, first thing I did was signed up for an online course because I wanted to learn a lot about it, and I wanted to try and avoid some of the common mistakes that I see people making when starting off doing Amazon. I'd already picked the retail arbitrage stroke online arbitrage business model as the one that I wanted to follow. If you don't know about Amazon business models, there's a few. There's wholesale, where you buy from wholesalers or brands direct and send stuff into Amazon and hope to make a profit on it. But you probably need a lot of capital to do that one and a lot of wholesale contacts, so it's probably not the one to start off with if you're new. There's online retail arbitrage, the one I follow, which is where you buy stock from websites or retailers and then sell it on Amazon for a profit, hence the arbitrage bit. There's also private label, where you create your own product and sell that on Amazon. Again, that's one that requires a lot of capital investment, so not really one for beginners. There's also the sort of the bundle model, where you create your own bundles using products that you buy perhaps from online or in-store retailers, and create a unique bundle to sell. There's potential for newbies to do that, but it's again something you really need a proper understanding of Amazon to do. So for a new starter like me, the online and retail arbitrage model is probably the best one to start off with. I've been doing online and retail arbitrage on eBay for a number of years, so I felt I had a good insight into how the model worked as well, and would be able to apply that to Amazon. But there are a few things that I didn't understand on Amazon that are different to how eBay works. I know all about the gating process. I understood that I needed to be ungated in products before I could sell them on Amazon. So there's still lots of products and brands that I'm gated in that I can't sell at the minute. But I don't view that as a huge problem, because I would just focus on the products that I'm not gated in and buy those. And so that's what I did. I joined a Discord group on the back of an online course I'd done. I'll do a separate video on the Discord group that I joined and why I think it's absolutely the worst Discord group to join. It's not Next Level Resell, it's not Mental Picks, and we'll do separate videos about both of those. They're both great. But yeah, just watch out for the video that I do on Seller Circle, because that's the one I would not recommend joining. But anyway, I joined this Discord group, loads of leads being posted in it every day. What I didn't really understand though from the course I'd done was reading data on products and leads to be able to identify what was a profitable product. I didn't understand things like the impact that having Amazon on a listing would have. I didn't understand what generic brands were, and that SaaS wouldn't necessarily give me the support I needed without doing further digging into stuff. I just didn't really know how to research a pickup that I was making, and therefore in the first few weeks I was buying products based on the leads in the Discord group, that I'll give you one example. Just for Men hair dye, Amazon had run out of stock for it. It was posted as a lead in this Discord group, and it was looking like you could make 50% return on investment, so a good lead. But if I had looked at it now, a few months later, I'd have absolutely stayed away from that, because I'd have seen that Amazon had been on the listing selling thousands of units for considerably less than my break-even point, and buying and investing in that lead was just going to lose me money, because as soon as Amazon came back onto it, they would undercut me, because their unit cost was much less. Not a deliberate action on Amazon's part. They just want to remain competitive. They can get the product for cheaper than I could, so they're selling it at a cheaper price. If I could get the product cheaper than Amazon could, I could sell it for cheaper than Amazon, and that would be fine. So having Amazon on the listing on itself isn't enough to put you off, but it's the fact that according to the data, they've been selling it for £2 under my break-even point. But I didn't know how to read and understand that data. I trusted that the leads I was given, because they were talked about being vetted, etc., had that sort of vetting process applied to it. But actually, none of the leads are vetted to that degree in that particular group. No caveats, no warnings, etc. I also didn't understand the arbitrage model in terms of being able to assess the impact that the number of sellers on a listing would have. I was told, if somebody sells 100 items a month and there's 5 sellers on it and they're all at the same price as you, then you should be able to get 20 sales a month. But that's not quite right. You really need a repricer to be able to grab the buy box, especially if you haven't got a lot of feedback or a lot of stock of an item. And in grabbing that buy box, you may find that you start pushing the price down, and price tanking occurs either through your own actions or through others as well. And I didn't really understand. There was nothing about how to set up a repricer as well, so I also probably ended up tanking a couple of listings inadvertently, because I didn't know how to use my price lister, and I didn't know how to assess the stock levels that other sellers had. It didn't really occur to me why some sellers were sat there on the listing with stock in at a higher price, and the fact that they were just waiting for the cheaper sellers to sell out so they could get that higher price, which is a strategy I now regularly employ on my listings, but didn't at the start. Another thing that I didn't understand and wasn't made clear was how long it would be before I would get my first payments from Amazon. So every week I was going out, buying stock, sending it into Amazon, and it was selling, but it was about 6 weeks from my first sale before I got my first payment. And in the meantime, I'd spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds, probably thousands of pounds, and I wasn't seeing any money coming back in. What I should have done was slowed down and waited for that money to come in and then reinvested it. Instead, I was pouring money in from my savings, directly loading money into it, etc., trying to grow and scale the business without any real plan or understanding of the fact that actually I need to keep some cash back to buy things like boxes to send the stock in, etc. I was also buying too much stock, more than I had the capacity to send in, and I wasn't really thinking about the stock that I bought in terms of how long it would take to pack and ship. So at the start, health and beauty is the category that pretty much most people are engaged in, and there's lots of brands there that you can pick up. You can go around Home Bargains and B&M and pick up stuff easily enough for it, and it looks like it's profitable products. Then most of the time it is, don't get me wrong. But to fill a box to send to Amazon, you've got to prep those items, you've got to bag them, label them, etc. And health and beauty stuff that leaks, so you want to bag it. All that takes time, and it's tiny little things as well that you're bagging. So it could take hours and hours to do a shipment, which meant that I might go out and buy a couple of hundred things, and that would fill half a box. So then I'd go out and buy another couple of hundred things to fill the rest of the box, and then I wouldn't have time to fill the box. So I've still now in May got stock that I bought in January that I haven't yet got round to sending into Amazon. So I didn't really appreciate how long that would take. I've made changes since then. So one of the mistakes I do now that I avoid now is I won't buy huge amounts of health and beauty items. I might buy a few, the ROI is decent, etc. But I prefer, personally, given how long it takes to sort out shipments and prep stuff, I prefer to buy bigger boxed items. I might only be able to get 20 units in a box, but if those 20 units are making me, £10 profit each, then that's £200 profit I'm making from one box, and it's taking me less than an hour to ship it. Taking into account the cost of the shipping, etc. That time, I'm making a 3-figure profit on that box. And I can do one of those a day, so I can send in 7 a week. So let's say I'm making £1,000 a week doing that as profit. So that's my model now. Like I say, I might chuck in a few random health and beauty items as well because the ROI is good, and I just want to fill in some corners in the box. That's absolutely fine, but it's not the biggest thing that it's not the majority of what the box is going to be made up of. Most of it's going to be stuff that's a bit big, but it's making a decent profit for me, a decent return on investment. And with the cost of shipping and sending a box being so little to Amazon, and the time it takes to do those being so little, that's where the profit really lies. But it took me a few months to learn and understand that. So yeah, we talked about the fact that also you tend to find that those bigger things, a lot of those are gated for new sellers. I've got ungated in them because I've been able to purchase direct from a supplier that I can use to ungate. The invoice they give me I can use to ungate. I've already got wholesale accounts set up where I can order that stuff wholesale, or because I've been doing Amazon for a few months now, they will just trust me a bit more and ungate me automatically more. But yeah, that's what works for me now. But yeah, that cash flow issue during the first few weeks, because I was investing all that money, I wasn't sending much of the stock in as I needed to, and I was waiting for the money to come back out. As I say, meant that I went into probably the end of February with no money in my business account at all, and no money therefore to buy supplies to send stuff into Amazon, etc. I'm lucky that I have 2 businesses, so I was able to use eBay funds and divert those into buying stuff to prop up the Amazon business. But if I didn't have that, I'd have had to wait for disbursement to come from Amazon, and it would have really slowed my growth. And potentially, if I had say a Discord group membership or a Seller Amp membership coming out that week, I wouldn't have been able to afford it. I'd have had no business. I'd have been bust. So now I'm sending more shipments in. I'm requesting daily disbursements from Amazon. The cash flow is much better. I keep a reserve in my bank account as well to cover any subscription costs, etc. So the business is running much better as a result, and I also direct a loan some money to it every month from my wages just to help it scale and grow a bit more naturally. At the minute, I'm owed over £1,000 disbursements by Amazon, so the money is flowing from Amazon as well and coming in, but it just takes that. It's totally different to eBay, where you sell something and you can get paid for it the next day once you've got a trusted account with them. On Amazon, even if you sell an item today, you've still got to wait a couple of weeks before you get the money for that sale coming through. So yeah, it is something new to learn and manage. So yeah, that was difficult. At the minute, I'm liquidating some of those early products that I picked up. One of the other issues I'm finding as well is that there's something called generic brands on Amazon, where you pick up an item, you scan it in Seller Amp, looks like it's good, it's a brand that you're already ungated on. You think, great, I'm going to make 50% ROI on this. Or even more. I'm going to double my money on it. Fantastic. And then you come back home, you come to list the item, and you find it's a generic brand and you can't add it to the item, and seller support are useless. And for me, because I had so many of these products that were past their return window, I was a bit stuck. Fortunately, I've been able to list the stuff on eBay and sell it there. But if I hadn't had that avenue, I'd have been stuck with a load of stock that I probably would have had to sell for pennies on the pound compared to what I paid for it. As it is, generally I'm able to get break even or make a profit on eBay, so it's less of an issue, and then the money comes from eBay back to across the Amazon account, so that props it up. But what I've learned is when I'm out and I find a product I like, I add it to my inventory there and then after I scanned it direct from SAS, so I know whether I can add it to my inventory and list it and send it to Amazon. If I can't, I'm leaving that product behind. The other thing that's happened as well, on a couple of products I picked up, I was making some really good money with Happy Salmon games, and there's another one as well, making really good ROI. It's doubling my money on them every time they sold. I got a inventory low email from Amazon, so I thought I'll just delete the inventory until I'll delete the listing from my inventory until the next time I send a shipment in, just to keep my inventory health up. And then I went to add the item to inventory when I was ready to do my next shipment, and I was gated. They'd basically, despite me selling multiples of the item, had then gated me on it. So another thing I do is if I get something and I'm ungated, I will send all of that in, everything that I can get in that week. If I can get more, I'll keep the listing active and I'll buy more and I'll keep sending stuff in, just in case Amazon decide to gate me on the product again in the future. If it's not a replenishable item, I'm not too bothered, but that was just a lesson learned. And yeah, I think I've still got 2 of those games on my eBay at the minute, listed at a price that'll make me a profit, but not as much profit as I was making on Amazon. And if I'd gone deep and I'd invested a lot, then I would have, potentially, because the sell-through rate on eBay is nothing compared to Amazon, I potentially have a lot of cash tied up in stock for a very long time, waiting for it to sell, or I could just dump the price on eBay, sell it quick, but lose a load of money. So a lot of lessons there that I've learned in these last few months. The business is now profitable. It's working well. I've got 2 shipments waiting to go to Amazon today. I'll probably do another 2 before the end of the week. So if I'm doing 3 or 4 shipments a week, send them into Amazon, then that's making me a decent amount of money, a decent amount of profit for a part-time side hustle. One thing I've got to mention as well is don't panic about sourcing products. I was rushing out buying everything at the start. I will do a top 5 mistakes video just to condense all this because it's quite long now. But yeah, I was rushing out buying anything that looked profitable at the start, because in my head there's all this competition to buy decent leads and stuff, and prices tank and all this kind of thing. But actually that was a big mistake, because not only has it left me with a backlog that I'm now working through, it's now only down to half a van's worth of stuff that I've got to send in, but those leads were not necessarily good ones. The prices tanked, I couldn't add them to inventory, all those kind of issues were occurring. But also the most important thing is that actually there's stock everywhere for Amazon. There really is. I could spend an hour online tonight, order a load of stuff. I could go out to the shops tomorrow, and with the knowledge that I've gained, I know exactly what to look for to go into the shops, what to buy, which shops to go to, which shops to avoid. But I know I could go out in Wrexham tomorrow night and fill the car with Amazon stock. There is no shortage of stock availability out there. You do not need to rush out and go and buy everything. Learn the data, learn how to read charts, learn how to identify a good product. Do that during the first few months. Don't focus on how much money you can make from it or trying to scale necessarily. Just learn how to understand and put the basic building blocks of the business in place first. Then after a few months, yeah, you can go crazy, you can start buying stuff because it's less of a risk, because you know what you're doing and what you're looking for. And don't give up as well if you're struggling to find stuff, because trust me, the deals are out there, they will come. Best Discord group you can join for deals at the minute is Mental Picks. I will include a description below for them. I will keep talking about how good they are because they are amazing. Needs more members to help the group grow and get even more leads in it. You will join that group, you will find stuff that you will make a profit on, and you will find that the stuff in there doesn't get as tanked as it does in other groups, because there's so many deals that not every member of the group is going to buy that particular deal. They're not going to invest in it, and a lot of the deals don't seem to appear in other groups as well, which is really good. If you want 30% off your first month's membership, I'll include a code in the description to do that as well. But anyway, thanks for watching the video, folks. I do like random comments to confuse people who haven't got this far in the video. So if you've reached this stage of the video, just comment scissors below, so the word scissors, and that will not only confuse people watching, but also let me know that you're watching the content and you enjoyed it, and it'll encourage me to continue making more content. So thank you very much for watching, folks. Bye for now.